Recently, David from San Joaquin Valley Transparency put out a video, a YouTube short that got some viral traction. The name of the video is Cops Don't Follow the Laws They Enforce. And he got a lot of negative press on this. There's a lot of comments. There's 18,000 comments in this video. And the top comment, I'm going to read some of these comments and then I'm going to play you the video. But I want to show you that the reason David put this out, I believe, is because there's a broader picture here and there's a story to be learned that a lot of people, especially people who are immersed in the propaganda saying, you know, you got to respect the thin blue line. These guys are out here putting their lives on the line, protecting and serving the rest of us, when really nothing could be further from the truth. The majority of the time a cop spends not protecting and serving or serving and protecting, but harassing and collecting from the rest of us. So the top comment, the top negative post has 23,000 likes. And this person says, cameraman was the guy who never got invited to hang out after class in high school. And there are a lot of comments like this, just derogatory comments filled with ad hominems and attacks against David because they feel like he attacked this cop who's basically smoking on duty and David's not letting him off the hook. We'll watch that in a second. This person says, he protects people for a living and you can't even let him smoke a cigarette in peace. My man is like a sub teacher that gives out homework. The cameraman really needs a job. This guy was the silent kid in school 100%. And this guy right here in the comment section says that he's a cop later. I'll just read this top comment from him. This is from JCHX6KP. He says, I hope that officer now never gives breaks or warnings. I hope he now writes citations on every single interaction he comes across. I sure will, thanks to people like you. I'll now hold every single person accountable at all times. Hope this is the world you really want. Let's go ahead and watch this video, and then I'm going to show you what I think is the broader picture here.
Are you on the clock? Are you on the clock? Yes, sir. Are you supposed to be smoking while you're on the clock? What's your name and badge number?
Madison 28574.
28574?
Yes, sir.
Can you put that cigarette out, please? It's unprofessional. Is littering in Miami illegal? Can you get a fine for littering? Can you enforce it if you see it? Is that your cigarette down there? Did you throw it on the ground?
Yes.
Can we pick that up, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick it up.
One of the things I do very well on my channel is point out police hypocrisy. I don't want to put a complaint on you, bro. I'll go to the department though and I'll put a complaint on you if you don't pick that up. Can I get you to pick that up, bro, before I get out of here so I don't have to go do that to you?
Well, I was gonna pick it up when you guys stopped recording.
You're waiting for us to stop recording so you can pick it up? That makes absolutely no sense, bro. Can you just do the right thing? I would appreciate it, man, if you did. Thank you, bro.
So is it legitimate to give cops a hard time like that? I mean, for goodness sakes, he's on the job. He's out there serving and protecting. He's just trying to take a smoke break. Can't you give him that? Let him carve out that time so you can give him that luxury of having a little smoke break because he's doing such hard work out there. The reason I think, and I don't want to talk for anybody, but if it was me, the reason I'd be giving a cop a hard time about that is because they do far worse to us. This is milquetoast compared to what they do to us. They will pile drive you into the ground if they catch you violating one of their politicians' laws. And remember, that's what's going on here. A cop calls himself a law enforcer. Most laws are unjust, immoral, and downright evil. So basically, they're evil enforcers, because what is a law? A law is an opinion of politicians backed by the threat of force. If you disobey their law, then their enforcers will come marching up and they'll show you that you should have obeyed the lying politicians, because that's how we're going to make our country great. Now, let me show you what I think the broader picture is here, because this is how cops will treat you. And I wanted to pick this story right here because this is apples for apples. This guy that you see in the suit with his hands cuffed behind his back was smoking not inside the park in New York City, but outside the park in New York City. Here's the contrast right here. David walks up to this cop calmly and engages in a peaceful dialogue, pressing him on the fact that he's doing something that's a violation of his policy. And if we were doing something that violated what they consider law, we would get the hammer. So contrast that with this reaction by the New York City Police Department for a guy smoking a cigarette outside a park, which is not a violation of anything.
Why are you arresting him? Why are you putting cuffs on him?
Do you see this?
Why are you putting cuffs on this man?
We asked him for his identification. He did not provide it.
May we see your papers?
I don't think I have them on me.
In that case, we'll have to ask you to come along.
We asked him for his identification. He did not provide it.
Your papers, please.
Why does he need to?
He's violating a rule of the Union Square Park.
He's not in the park.
He's inside the park.
He's not inside the.
Look, see that cop with the white glove? He's got the cigarette in his hand. Here's the evidence that you broke our politicians' law. And now we're going to enforce the law on you. We're going to handcuff you. We're going to violate you. Look at the show of force. How many cops have we already seen in this picture? Like 7, 8, 9, 10? I don't know. The police force and response against a guy smoking a cigarette outside the park is off the charts. Look at this. You got 1 cop, 2 cops, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Inside the park.
Inside the park, but he's outside the park.
This is the park.
Look at this lady acts like she's guarding the president of the United States.
Right? And he's not being arrested. He did not want to give his identification, so he's going to be brought to the precinct where he's going to show his identification. He's going to get a summons.
I'm out here. The lady even said it herself. I'm outside the park.
He's outside the park.
The officials of Union Square Park, they told us it's curb to curb. Thank you, guys.
You didn't treat me like no gentleman. You're not even treating me like a human being right now. What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I tried to have a civil conversation. You didn't try to have a civil conversation. Fuck you. Like that.
Look at all the cops. This is crazy. And yet, if you're in trouble on a subway, good luck finding a cop to help you out.
Just like that. Yeah, just like that. Because you disrespected me when you approached me.
Why are you cuffing him? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
He didn't want to give his identification. So if you don't want to give your identification, we're going to cuff you, bring you back to the precinct.
Yeah,
because when we ask for your identification, you have to give us your identification. So because it's a law. You're committing a violation. I asked you for your identification. Not in the park. It's on every.
And that is exactly, this is the end of the video, but that's exactly what a conformist would say, as opposed to what a moralist would say. A conformist would say, well, if we ask you for your ID, you got to give us your ID because it's the law. A conformist does what he's told regardless of what is right. He can't reason. He can't use critical thinking. He can't ask himself a question. Hey, is it really right? I mean, for me to make somebody insecure in their person, which is a violation of my oath to the Fourth Amendment, I said I would uphold, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And here I am becoming the very domestic enemy that I swore to protect the people from. So you got to give us your ID because it's the law. So he's a conformist, doing what he's told regardless of what is right, instead of being a moralist, doing what is right regardless of what he's told. So do you notice the police force? Do you notice how many cops there are on the scene? Just in this first frame, there's the first guy in the foreground, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a lady cop passes. There's 8 entering the frame. Oh, I didn't even see her. 9, 10. So you got at least 11. You got at least 10 or 11 cops out here giving a guy a hard time because he was smoking outside the park. And probably the reason he dropped his cigarette is because they cuffed him and now they got evidence. Oh, you don't want to ID? Then we're going to cuff you. We're going to kidnap you. We're going to throw you in the back of our cruiser. We're going to take you and get you fingerprinted. We're going to take you down to the station because you didn't show us your papers. You're in big trouble, buddy. On the flip side, people are giving David a hard time for entering into a calm conversation with a cop who violated his own policy. And then they're talking about David like he's a bad guy because he said, hey, how would you respond if you saw somebody throw a cigarette on the ground and just litter in front of you? What would you do? What does your policy say that you would do? What have you done in the past? How many people have you personally put in prison who literally committed no crime, i.e. didn't leave any kind of victim, didn't harm anybody, didn't threaten anybody, didn't steal somebody's stuff, didn't damage their property and refuse to pay for it? How many people are you personally responsible for putting behind bars who didn't actually commit a crime? Now, would you please pick up your cigarette? And yet people are saying, you know, David's a Karen because he's holding this person to account, when if you did the exact same thing, we have video evidence showing exactly what the cops would do if you were in the same position, smoking where they thought you shouldn't be smoking, when you should have been smoking, or maybe littering. This is the kind of police response. So you tell me, is it fair to hold cops accountable for their actions if they're going to have this kind of response to us? Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comments section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. If you want to support the channel further, the support links are in the description. You can also become a channel member and grab a hard-hitting conversation starting shirt like this right here. I'm an American. I have the right to bear arms. Your approval is not needed. Remember, freedom is dangerous. The only thing more dangerous is not having it. I'll see you in the next video.